Welcome to another Motortown video. Today I'm here to tell you guys about the different supply chains in this game. This has been a viewer requested video from a few weeks ago, and I put it on the back burner for a while because I knew this wouldn't be part of my main playthrough series, and I needed a bit more information on the topic to begin with, and also an idea to structure it in a way that works out for me. I cannot go to every single place and show you that because that would be taking way too long, and I also didn't want to make this into a multi-part series. I want to get everything into one video, and this is the one that you're going to see right here. So to start out with, I want to give you guys the 4 different basic categories of cargo deliveries I put everything in this game into. And starting out with, we have the one and done deliveries. Those are really just items that are freely available at the different warehouses. You just pick them up, you bring them to their destination, you get a reward, but there is no additional thing created from that. And there's also no prerequisite for that item to be existing, it just randomly spawns. Second one are the short industry supply chains. And these are also all over the place. I'll be only giving you guys a few examples here, and that should hopefully give you an idea on how it works in general. And there are actually 2 different types of these, starting out with factories. And those basically, they require an item that can be gotten from many places. You just bring it to the factory, it will produce another item, usually of higher value, and once you bring that to the next destination, you get a larger reward than from just the initial delivery. And those things are, as I said, all over the place. You can find stuff like this in Gappa, for example, where a lot of the farms need inputs from other places in order to produce something. The free water factory is another one that I've been asked for specifically. And also just a lot of other places as well. There are so many that it doesn't really make sense to even try and count them all up. The other version of this is with warehouses, and they basically, for the stuff that you deliver, you just get a few more things that you can deliver to other places. They may have some stock in there by default, but if you make a few deliveries like containers or something, you get a bit more for that. So let's take a look at this warehouse's inventory to see how that all works. First up, we have the delivery items over here. Right now there are only a few available, but for example, and this is a thing where you can identify any factory or warehouse with an output here. If there is a box on the top left like this one, you know that it has some required inputs and it will actually produce some stuff for it. So if I just want to boost the amount of deliveries available over here, I would bring them a container, and then I would get a few pallets as an output and also a few small items. Containers, by the way, are freely available at either the Lijo Harbor to the northeast area over here, or the overseas import company. Plus maybe also with a few later updates there might be other places coming. But yeah, generally if you go to one of these and find a container headed to Lijo Airport, this is how you could buff this specific warehouse's output a bit. But the items over here would be just more of the same that you can see right here. Then again, if you come over here with a large truck and you want to fill it up, preferably with items that all go to the same location, it can really help having a few more things available right here. And yeah, the second output would be if you get any pallets from all over the place, and those can come in from any other warehouse around the area. And just bring them over here, you can get a few box pallets C out of that, which would be another item available for delivery, and I think they might be slightly more valuable, but really not too much different. The same thing as with the warehouse over here can also happen at different factories. it will always tell you what it needs in the top left. And again, for containers and pallets, which are very common items and inputs, you just get them from any warehouse all over the place. They are random spawns, so you cannot really guarantee them being there at any point. But again, for pallets in particular, just do a few container deliveries to get a higher chance of encountering the delivery that you actually want to make. And yeah, for factories, the output is usually a higher value item than the regular stuff from the warehouses. So that's something to keep in mind. And I think that's everything I can tell you guys about the short chains. One thing of note is that a lot of different factories might actually be offering you hybrid offerings from both short chain stuff and also long industry chains, depending on what you deliver to. It can be part of a longer chain, it can be part of a short one. But stuff like Free Water Factory, let me go into the other map here. The Food Factory over here, Toy Factory, those are all short chains that don't seem to be serving any longer industry chain supply demand. But yeah, for stuff like especially the Food Factory, the stuff that you get out of here is quite valuable. It's an item with a time limit, and if you deliver it to the, I think it's to the airport here, within that time limit, you get a huge money bonus. So this is something to look out for. But again, it won't give you any additional output afterwards. So keep that in mind. Also, overseas import factory or company here is something that I would like to mention in particular. Just doing a few deliveries here to boost the output can help you quite a lot when it comes to later industry chains and getting the required inputs for that. So this is something that I would take care of and bring a few containers and stuff like that over there. But that's as much as I can tell you for the short supply chains. Let's go to the long ones. And these I'm going to cover in detail because getting into the multi-step ones can be a bit more tough, especially if you're looking at something like the last item in the chain and don't know how to get the ones before that. So to start out with, we have the fast food industry chain. And for those, you need to begin by bringing stuff over to the meat factory and the cheese factory, both in the northeast region of Jeju Island. The meat factory needs containers, and again, those come from either the container place at Jeju Harbor or the overseas shipping company, and containers are usually things that you can just pick up and they spawn at random. There are no real requirements to get those started. And yeah, the other part here is the daily cheese factory, and that needs milk from one of the two farms. One of them is over here, the Garci Ranch. This one only has a capacity of 10 for milk, so you should really only go here with a small tanker vehicle. If you want to fill up an entire tanker trailer with 40 tons, you should go over to this ranch here with a ranch oval. I think the capacity here is about 200, so more than enough to completely fill up your tanker immediately. And yeah, once you have both of these factories supplied, not only can they serve as short chains, offering you a lot of deliveries to different other cargo hubs and stuff like that, just to make a bit of quick money. But you will also be able to deliver small packages to the 4 different fast food restaurants. There's a burger place and a pizza place in both Jeju and in Seogwipo, downtown over here. So that's 4 places in total. And once you deliver stuff to those, they can start putting out either premium pizzas or signature burgers, which are, well, another delivery item that are time limited, and if you go to the delivery point within the time limit, you will get a huge money bonus. So these are really profitable and something that I suggest you take a look at if you want to make some money quick. It's a lot of prerequisite just getting the stuff to the different places beforehand. And I find that especially the container deliveries to the meat factory are both a bit boring and don't really that rewarding in terms of money as well. So while they are necessary evil to unlock the rest of the supply chain, um, overall I think it's still a very good thing to do and very profitable in the end. And yeah, that's everything regarding the fast food chain. The next one would be wood, and this can also be either a one and done delivery, a short chain, or a long chain, depending on your delivery destination. It always starts at the lumber yard over here, just east of the mountain on the dirt road. If you pick up the delivery and bring it to the harbor, I'm pretty sure that's just a one and done thing. You can also bring it to the sawmill over here, to the northeast region, to the Sangdo lumber mill, and this will allow you to bring stuff to a few other places. For example, the furniture store would be another place and a part of the long supply chain. This is the one that you can find over here in the north end of downtown. And that will also unlock another type of delivery going to either the furniture store in, where is it? I think it's somewhere over here. AliExpress and furniture store, yeah, this one here. So this is another place where you can bring the stuff, or to the larger one up north, which is over here. AWOL furniture store. This would be the other delivery point. I don't know if there are any more residential deliveries after that. I think you can get some of those out of the furniture store as well. So that would be the final delivery to the residential end user of the furniture. And that would be the entire furniture chain. However, with the recent addition of the refinery, we've also gotten another thing to do with our lumber. So once we go back to the lumber mill right here, there's also the option to bring this stuff over to the oil field. So this is only drilling. And this is a bit of a weird one, another hybrid industry thing. I'm pretty sure that only drilling can make oil without any more inputs, but it can definitely increase its oil production rate by quite a bit if you deliver both a bit of fuel to them, but also the lumber from the lumber mill. And from there, once you go from only drilling, and this is going over right into the refinery industry chain, the crude oil can be brought over to the Sanhole oil refinery, and with that you can then get fuel as an output, which is a very, very profitable trip going back up north and bringing it to different other places. Also, you can get containers to this place as well, just so that you increase your output rate by quite a bit. I think for single player stuff, it's alright if you just bring the crude oil straight from the drilling place to the refinery and then bring the fuel back to another place to make a huge amount of money. But especially in multiplayer, you want to keep everything up and running as fast as you can. So for example, on the TWL server, people are constantly delivering containers to this place and lumber to the oil field, because otherwise with the amount of people on there that want to do those deliveries, the factories can barely keep up as is. So that's something important to keep in mind. But that's also all the long chains that I'm aware of. So let's now go over to the more special stuff. And for those, I know about three different things. First up, we have the Concrete Factory. This would be a short chain, but it's also kind of feeding into itself, so looping items back and forth after a certain point. The way this works is that you need a dump truck and just bring stuff from one of the construction sites, and I'll show you guys that in a moment. Let's just drive to one to give you guys a better idea of this. But yeah, you take the dump truck from one of the construction sites and bring 15 sand from here to the concrete factory. And by default, you would just have sand available here. This is something that's freely available, and it all needs to go to the concrete factory. That's the only location for that right now. And from the concrete factory, you can get concrete, as you might have thought. And then you can bring it back to a construction site using the Mixie. That's a cement mixer truck. And yeah, that's basically that would be the short chain part of this. However, once you bring the concrete to one of the construction sites, you get fine sand from it. Note that you can have 15 units of sand in the dump truck and 15 units of concrete in the mixer. So that's really one-to-one. You want to bring a full load to a place, then you can bring a full load to the next one, and then a full load back to it. And once you bring concrete to the construction site, it actually starts looping, because at this point you can get fine sand. And fine sand is always a bit more valuable than the regular one. I've seen a few deliveries where fine sand were 50% more than the regular sand. So that's something that you really want to aim for. But you only get it if you deliver the concrete back to one of the construction sites. The construction sites apparently can also take lumber from the lumber mill, which would be another location to make that thing a short industry chain. But that's something that I don't really do too often. You can also, of course, need the sand and the concrete for your own building if you're building something like a large garage on one of your purchased properties. But yeah, in the end, once you have the fine sand production going, you just kind of want to go back and forth between the concrete factory and the construction sites and keep delivering to make the money. The next one in line is the military crates. These are a bit special, and I'll explain to you guys in a moment. It all starts with even getting them. And that's something not everybody knows, so I think it's important to show you guys on site. The way the military crates work on principle, it's basically a short supply chain, but with how the intricacies work out, I thought it fits more into the special category. Because you cannot pick up the crates from the actual cargo point over here. This is always going to be empty. This is only for delivery. You can also see that it doesn't have anything on the top left here, so you're not getting any output from this. What you need to do is you need to find the military crates all around the place over here. So let's go through all of the 10 locations real quick. One of them will be over here, just inside the barrack right here. One behind the generator. And then another two in this corner over here. Just one behind this generator right here. Another one in this, I don't know, mobile command unit. And that's almost half of them. Next one will be up over here behind another mobile command center. Another one in the medical bay. Another one behind that, just at the water tower over here. One up here next to the satellite dish. One down here between the tents. Just at the back of this air conditioning unit. And another one in this tent over here. So just right next to the map. And this is where you can find them. So what do you need to do with them? How do they work? Well, they spawn randomly all over the place in a certain time interval. I don't really know how long it is. It seems to be a bit random. But in the end, they will come with one of 7 assigned destinations at random. And you can already see it just by looking at the crate. So let's take a look on the map and which locations they can go to. They can go to either the Jeju Harbor over here. I mean, it's this one to be precise, not the container unit. They can go to Oedo at a warehouse. Over here to Xinjiang. We have another one down here in Gangyang. Another one here at Oji Gate. Xiongchang or Xiongzan. And last but not least, the rest area up on top of a mountain. And for delivering these empty crates, you will get, I think, 840 coins for each of them. Thankfully, this doesn't even scale with delivery size or cargo size. Just bring whatever vehicle you are most comfortable with. It really doesn't matter. There are a lot of different tactics for these. But yeah, just bringing them to their respective destination. 840 coins over time. However, that is not how it ends, because at all of these places, it has the input and then also the output. These are empty supply crates. They get filled up at the place, and you are supposed to take them back. And they will pay between, I think, 2,000 to 4,000 coins for each once you bring them back here, depending on the distance of the delivery point. So that's what makes them really profitable. And also gotta be careful, you can only put in 10 at a time. Otherwise, if you bring 14 with one delivery, the other 4 will still pay for the delivery to that point, but they will not be processed into fully loaded crates. Otherwise, you would have to unload them one by one and just let the warehouse process the stuff before you bring in any more. But yeah, the real kicker is just bringing them to the location and then filling them up and bringing them back over here, delivering them all to this point for maximum profit. And it can be very fun just finding out how to even approach this entire thing, which kind of vehicle you want to use, and just also doing a lot of cargo stacking to make the most out of your deliveries. This is one of my preferred money-making ways. It's quite interesting and very different from anything else. But yeah, technically it would serve as a short supply chain. Just with how the cargo is handled, I thought it would be worthwhile pointing this out as a special thing. And last but not least, for the special items, we have the Anson race car factory. It's not really much of a supply chain with how it works right now, because while you have to bring some inputs here, you're not getting another good as an output, you are getting a car. And in order to produce that car, you will need to find 2 small boxes, 6 box pallet A, and 2 20-foot containers, and bring them over to this place. Containers, again, very easy to get at either Jeju Harbor or the Overseas Import Company. Box pallets can be gotten from any warehouse around the place. And they also spawn at the Overseas Import Company quite often. And small boxes can be a bit harder to find, but I have had a lot of luck finding them at either Gangneung warehouse at different of the AliExpress, which are usually more smaller boxes for residential deliveries, but they can also come up at the overseas import company as well. So if you really want to make yourself an easy job here, I would suggest just bring a few containers to overseas and then boost the output to just get a few more items there. And that should give you all the stuff that you need here rather quickly. So yeah, once you have made all the deliveries, you can see that the factory will start producing one Formula SCM, which is a race car in this game, and it's an entry-level Formula race car. And this is the only way on how to get it in order to own it yourself. This is mine that I also upgraded and used in a recent racing event. These things are a handful, but with how involved it is to just getting these to begin with, I thought it would be worth pointing these out as a special type of delivery chain. Definitely out of the ordinary. But yeah, that's everything regarding the different supply chains. Let me know what you think about it. If I missed something, if you have any additions to the stuff that I talked about here. And as always, have a good day. See you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed, and bye bye.